Hello and welcome to today's lesson. My name is Fiddelis. So today we are going to talk about shadow work. Shadow work is pretty much finding that piece of you that you are afraid to see or afraid to acknowledge. And then being in control of that piece of you, as opposed to when you ignore it, that piece of you will continue to do things behind your back, technically, without your conscious awareness. But it's important for you to be able to kind of understand your shadow, tame your shadow, master your shadow. Then you'll be free. 6 ways in which we unknowingly meet our shadow every day. Because what doesn't affect you should not affect you. You get what I mean? Me buying a car should not affect you to the point that you get upset.
Yeah.
The upset that you're showing is a cover-up for something else. When you get negative feedback from honest friends, like when someone comes up and says,
Have you told me that before?
Many years ago, we were in Tewkesbury, and man, were you upset. You almost burned the house down.
I was
That's the
upset.
biggest insult.
Wait. I was upset. I almost ran the house down. But wasn't that like a classic of you showing me my shadow and me saying, nah, it's not me.
Yeah.
Can't be me. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know what it means.
Yeah, but it just jumped into saying it's not you, and that's how the fight started.
Babe. Listen, I was writing and then I was like, no. Wait. Wow. I guess this know thyself was for me.
It's for everybody. It's for everybody to know themselves.
You seem very...
The car, what about the car?
No, babe, I'm so happy.
I'm glad.
Listen to what I was writing and then I had to stop. So ego is a person's sense of self-esteem, that piece of you that is responsible for experiencing reality and that gives you a sense of personal identity. The ego mediates between the conscious and the unconscious. So me presenting here today as I'm Fiddelis, that's my ego, because I am not my name.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I've come to realize that I am more than I'm more than the physical appearance. The real me is behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when you talk about
True.
everything else in the world, like what do you want? I want to build a nice house. What do you want? I want to have a wonderful husband. For me, like now the real me, the answer is honest, truth.
That's real growth.
Yeah, like if I died, the thing that I would want on my thing would be the truth sets you free. There's no way to condense that to a meme. That's the shortest way. Like the truth sets you free.
Yeah.
Because my truth is different from your truth, different. But know thyself. Anyway,
Very true.
so just like a coin has two sides, every human has two sides to them. There's the conscious self, which is, Fiddelis. Then there's the unconscious self, which is the pieces that Fiddelis put aside because nobody else wanted them and nobody else could acknowledge them, and it was just not acceptable. Though Fiddelis knew, you know what I mean? Am I not human that I have these things that... But I'll put them to the side so I can happily participate. Because I don't want to be the weird one. Community praises everybody that conforms. And so the piece of you that conformed, however way you chose to conform, that's your conscious self. Everything else you refused about yourself so you could conform, so you could adjust to the world is your shadow self. The unconscious self is every person's closet. The closet holds feelings, thoughts, urges, memories that are outside our conscious awareness. So if you're two sides of the coin, can one side of the coin see the other side? Of course not.
No.
And so if I'm this side and you come to ask me about this side of the coin, it doesn't exist. I don't see it. How can it?
Yeah.
It's the classic case of you telling me, oh, Fiddelis. I'm like, oh, no, it's not me. It's not me, because look, I know all of me, but I don't know.
Yeah. True.
Which brings me to that poem that I was reading earlier. So listen. The late psychiatrist R.D. Laing, the range of what we think and do is limited by what we fail to notice. Because we are seeing this, we are failing to notice this. And because we fail to notice that we fail to notice, because we are not aware of this side, we are only aware of this side. So we are not even aware that there's a piece of us that we don't know.
Yeah, that we are not aware.
Because if someone told me that when I was young, I want to know it. You want to tell me it's a piece of me I don't know and only I can know it? At least I'll know to look.
Yeah.
But instead, this is all we accept and this is all you are. Anything else, forget about it. And so that immediately starts what I would call like an internal struggle. It's a battle within you. It's constantly walking around with Satan and an angel here. Yet they have, they're the same thing. It's you. How confusing.
Yeah. I know.
What's the best way to describe that to someone without them thinking that I'm going crazy?
Yeah.
So the coin represents the human experience. It's the human experience. If I wanted to go to Disney World, what will I get? A Disney World experience. If I wanted to go to America, I'd get the American experience. So that means the human experience, because we are not human. We are presenting and experiencing ourselves as, but we are not human. We technically almost had to go through like a downgrade, because humans are so evil. Right? Like, look at the news, look at all the things that are happening.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you're going to take such kind of a downgrade, when you're here, you want to make sure you maximize your time. And the only way to maximize your time is being present for each time. And the only way to be present for each time is make sure you're doing something that's making you happy. Because let me tell you, happy and love is always in alignment with the present moment.
Yeah.
Anything that truly made you happy, you will remember in every detail. And that's why sometimes we have these memories. You know, like I can remember, let me say an example of like when I met you. I was so happy. I can tell you what you were dressed in. The next day, can I tell you?
I know.
But for the moment that I was very happy, you know what I mean? It really sticks. And kids are usually very happy.
Yeah, all the time. And that's why they learn very quickly.
But I wish someone with the knowledge of the human experience was part of creating that education system.
True.
Because to be honest, we need to teach kids how to have a mindset that will benefit them holistically. Not to train them to be an employee, not to train them to come and pay taxes, to train them to come and have a good human experience.
But you know why that's not, taught in school, right?
Let me take a guess. Is it because when everybody gets to learn, then there will be nobody willing to be manipulated?
Yeah, exactly. When you go apply for a job and somebody asks you, why should we hire you? You turn around and ask them, why should I work for you? You know what I mean? You don't want to follow any government rules. You don't want to follow any company rules. Like, You just want to be out there. Watch this documentary, the one I was telling you about, like about all the psychedelics. I forget what it's called, but I had sent you a picture of it. If you want, I can send it to you. It was talking about the 60s when there was that free love, when people were like into psychedelics. They refused to go to the war in Vietnam. They dropped out of college. And that's when they started criminalizing drugs. Before that, everything was legal. But then they saw that it's altering the human experience.
To be what it's supposed to be. To be what it's supposed to be. It's putting us in alignment with what our soul actually wants.
Yeah, and that guy went into great trouble, like showing all these clips, even from Oprah Winfrey, from even shows that were being clips that were being shown on the news, showing that like if you use weed or psilocybin, it rots your brain. But all that was propaganda from the government. They don't want a populace that's gonna think. They don't want a populace that says, I don't care how much money I make, I don't care what car I drive, I don't care this, I just want to be happy. They don't want that. They don't want people that are leaving jobs to go find happiness. They don't want it. And that's when the war on drugs began under President Nixon.
That is really sad.
And as we all know, the war on drugs is the war on people, because they go after certain people. Like crack, they go after crack and weed, they go after black people. Like stuff like cocaine, they go after Hispanics. You know, it turned out to be a war on people.
But you know, if it happened in the 60s, that means the generation that was born in the 60s, let's say like to the 70s, the education was that drugs are bad, so they don't even want to experience, they don't even want to, they don't want anything, they don't even want the scientific facts. Like weed actually grows as a plant. It's a herb. So how someone convinced you not to take the herb, but to go around and now pay for it legally because it's getting taxed? Because that's what's happening in America. Now they realize they can make money of it. But anyway, where was I going? Those people that were born in that generation, they don't want anything to do with drugs. And so, but they're having kids that want to experience.
And kids that are removed from that, like the news doesn't keep showing that over and over and over like they did in the 60s and 70s. So the kids being born now, they are one generation removed. So it's them, they are willing to experiment. Then leave it alone, guys.
But most times when you do experiment with these things, what happens to your brain?
It opens up. You see a different side from what you usually used to seeing.
You start understanding deeper meanings in life.
Exactly.
You stop being shallow. You stop, like I would look at an advert and instead of seeing what the advert is about, I see the goal for why they even went to create the product. To put in an advert,
advertising.
To put it here in my space.
Because now you start asking questions. And a lot of people don't want people that ask questions, you know?
We have put those things into the shadow. We sit here and pretend they don't happen. Oh, I can't talk to my kids about sex because I know they're not having sex. They are.
I know,
I won't talk to my kids about drugs because they're not having drugs. They are. You're ignoring it. You don't want to deal with it. Someone needs to look at it. But now, how can we solve that problem? Because you're seeing it. whatever it is, and you're thinking that's it, not knowing, you're not even aware that there's something else. First is by introducing it into schools.
First, you have to be aware that that side exists.
True.
Then once you're aware that it's there, then you start seeking it. You know, because it won't seek you. It hides. When you look this way, it goes that way. It's like trying to see the back of your head. You turn around like this. It goes as far back as you're looking.
The best place to start is with adults, because these adults need to first understand that, okay, this was done to me. What can I do to prevent this from happening to the next generation?
Yeah.
I would recommend it.
And because they've been living with it the longest.
Yeah, because my God, I wish I could go back. You know what I mean?
I know.